how are you doing? My name is Athena Island, and we're talking about AI. Today, I invited a very interesting person, Gary Fowler, and he's investor, founder, producer. He loves sports and life, and I'm very, very pleased that he's here to answer all my questions. Gary lives in United States, and he's a guest here in Moscow. That's why I invited him to American Starlight Dinner Restaurant to be familiar with all the atmosphere. Hey Gary, how are you?
How are you? Good to see you.
Oh, yes.
Let's sit down.
Yeah. So Gary, I would like to ask you about your background.
Sure, absolutely.
You almost
Where do you want me to start?
Start with your first business.
So my first business, I was 21 years old. I was right out of graduate school. And I love entrepreneurship. I'm Greek American, by the way, half Greek. And so I took some martial arts classes. And the instructor, I come in, here's a master of jiu-jitsu. And he's there, and I said, what do you do besides jiu-jitsu? And he said, well, I'm a carpenter, a builder. And I had just come from a bookstore where they had these beautiful houses. And I thought, well, okay, this house doesn't look right. It could be designed a little differently. I think I would like to do it. I took the picture of the house to him and I said, can you build it? He said, of course. So that started. So in 4 months, I built a house, sold it, and made 30% profit in 4 months.
Wow.
So I bought the land, etc. This is 21 years old. I never took any outside investment other than loans, personal loans. And so I was right out of graduate school. I came out, and that was one of 27 houses that I built. The biggest house that I built was 8,000 square feet, roughly 800 square meters, with 87,000 bricks. So that was the beginning of it. And I understood then, so I built one, and I said, oh, Jesus, great, I made 30%, I'll build two. So then I built 2 houses. And I said, okay, now instead of 2, I'll do 4. And that's how the thing really started. And that was it. And I did over $9 million in sales.
Wow, cool.
And that was in about a year and a half period of time.
And how did you move to tech then later?
Well, because I was in graduate school, I was a graduate assistant in statistics. So I would work on the computer in graduate school.
So you knew about data from the very beginning?
Yeah, I mean, I was doing the stuff. I was actually, the professor had me doing a lot of the coding stuff then, rudimentary things, basic, that kind of thing. But that's where I got into it. And I thought, this is really cool shit. I really like it.
And what was the language programming?
I mean, it was basic at the time. It was nothing, right?
Plus,
Yeah, I mean, no. This is before that. I mean, I was like, it was basic. I was just doing data entry kind of things, helping them out, but it worked. I was a graduate assistant in statistics. And so that's how I got started. And I just fell in love with it. Then what happened after I did my houses, I actually, in parallel, worked selling Apple computers, IBM computers at the time. This was right at the beginning of this stuff. And I couldn't believe it. So here I am, I have the houses. At the same time, I'm doing this sales and marketing stuff. I was right at the beginning. I saw it grow. Imagine, I mean, right at the beginning, the big essence of personal computing.
The next question is about AI.
Sure.
Why are you so passionate about that?
So maybe I should talk about the number of companies that I've done.
Yeah.
Do you think?
Yeah.
That would be probably interesting for the audience. Maybe we do that and then talk about the AI stuff, okay?
Okay. Do you mean companies which you own or you invest in?
No, they started.
Oh, okay. Companies you started.
Yeah, I won't go through all of them.
Okay.
So when I did that, I started out with that, but then I moved into technology. So the basic of it was doing this construction stuff. But then I started moving into technology. So I've been involved in a successful IPO. A week ago, the company was sold for $1.35 billion to Salesforce. So I was on the original management team. I named the company, came up with the family of products for the company. It's incredible. We were in a room not different to where we are today, and here's a company that sold the to Salesforce. It's incredible how things change so quickly. And of my 14 companies, so Yva is my company. Yva is one of the top 10 AI companies.
So 14.
14 companies now. Yva is one of the top 10 most disruptive AI companies in the world today. And that I founded with David Yang. So my journey has been through all these companies. I'm just passionate about it. I love it. I love this whole cross-border transactions, cross-border companies, great talent like in Russia, incredible talent, AI talent, mathematics and sciences, combining it with a team from the United States to go global. It's amazing how that's going to change the world. And the time is today to do it.
So why do you think not a lot of companies are going global? What's the reason for
Well,
that?
because there's a broken model, right? And I just wrote an article in Forbes magazine about it. The problem is we have accelerators, but they don't really have the expertise in terms of time to be able to go to the next level. So yes, you learn principles about lean startups, but you don't have 15, 20 years worth of experience actually doing it. And people don't know who you are, right? So you go out to Silicon Valley, they don't know who you are. So it's about trust. And so if you want to raise money, who is it? You give money to people you know who've been successful, right? And it's hard for a startup to get in that kind of position. So I think that the model's broken, and if you take a more operational role in the company, as we're doing now with GSD, and actually become the CEO of those companies, it really helps because people want to invest. Success breeds success. And it's incredible because now we're a mixed team, a very diverse team, and of course diverse teams have are more successful. Right? I think the time is today for it.
Can you tell me how long does it take for a startup to be famous, to be like known in Silicon Valley?
You know, that's a tough thing to say because Nick DeVito off of Masquerade did it in a few months. But the thing is, getting the right kind of PR and the right kind of marketing and doing the kind of speaking engagements and writing. So, I don't know, year and a half, something like that if you're doing it the right way.
So, and doing it the right way means that doing like how you're doing now in GSD, right?
I mean, the thing is we named GSD Get Shit Done Venture Studios.
Let's talk about that.
Because if you look in the back of Mark Zuckerberg's office, there in the beginning there was a butcher block, a piece of paper that said "Get Shit Done."
Yeah.
So when we put this company together, we said, "What is it all about? It's about no games, no jokes, get shit done."
Yeah.
So that's where it came from. And the idea is, don't just talk about it, do it. Part of life is people are afraid to try.
Is it an accelerator?
It's between an accelerator and a venture capitalist. We're taking an operational role in most companies, right? So literally, myself and my partner, Derek, jump in. I become the CEO. Derek becomes the COO. We take an operational role. We bring people around us who are pretty well known. The former Chief Security Officer at Apple, Rick Orloff, is one of our advisors. Bill Reichert from Garage Technology Ventures. Don Swan, the former COO of Walmart. Top people. There's about 100 of them. And they help us because they're really interested too. They just don't have a contact to get to the startups, many of them. So that's what we're doing, and this model works.
And can you describe me maybe one successful story which is already working?
Yva.
Yva. So let's talk about Yva.
Yeah, so Yva. So 3 years ago, David Yang, David is a top entrepreneur in Russia, global entrepreneur. We were walking down the street in Palo Alto, California. And as we're walking down the street, I know David. And I said, David Yang, Gary. And we went up, gave each other hugs, shook hands, and he said, can you help me find a CEO and co-founder? I've been looking for a year.
Yeah.
And I thought about it, and I said, I'm interested, but I'm not going to say anything. So I waited a few days, and I called him up. I said, David, I think I know the guy. I said, what are you doing? Would you like to meet for lunch? Sure. So we met for lunch, and he said, who is it? And I said, me. Moi.
Whoa.
And he said, that sounds interesting. He said, are you ready to get started?
By the way, do you think that he already meant you and he was kind of inviting you in this project, asking such a question?
It could be the same as me. It's like dating, right? You don't want to say exactly right away. So we met, we talked, we moved forward, and he said, let's do it. So instantly we started putting the company together. And we went from scratch with the company, from nothing to the point that the company has about 80 employees worldwide. And what does it mean? It means coming up with the name of the company. We had to pivot 3 times, right? Because initially we were a Google-like search for the personal cloud, and we had to pivot. Now here's a guy that's this world-renowned cover of Forbes magazine, going out and doing customer discovery with me, talking to people, walking down the street. But what we did is we understood that this is really cool stuff. How do we really apply it? The thing that was really interesting about David is that he doesn't give up, and he believes in dreams.
Yeah.
So we went down through.
And he's a hard worker.
He's a hard worker.
Yeah.
Yeah, and incredibly smart and a nice guy. You know, he's like my brother now. So anyhow, we went down through, got the legal in place. I got top advisors. Nick Davidoff is one of the advisors. Masquerade, Bill Reichert, Rick Orloff. We got top attorneys put together, top accountants. I mean, just best of the best. And what I also understood that we wanted to have Russian-speaking attorneys. We want to have Russian-speaking accountants, so we can make sure that they could talk to the group in Russia, R&D facility. And it works. It works like crazy. Then we went out and we started to pitch. Now imagine going out with David Jang and going out and raising money. Here's a guy that's a, billionaire.
Yeah.
And he went out and raising money for a few $1 million, but it was really good actually, because it teaches you it doesn't matter how much money you have, it matters what you can get done. Yeah. So we went out, raised money. In a very short period of time, I raised $4 million. Actually, $3 million in the beginning, $4 million by the July timeframe within 5 months. So which is really unheard of. And we raised part of it from Chinese, part of it from Israel, part of it from the U.S. But people really believed in it because it's a dream. We all have a challenge, you know the file exists, but you can't find it. Why? You've forgotten where it's located, or what the name of it is. And so what happened is, it was great, but people don't remember the passwords. So they wouldn't remember the passwords. So they had 15 accounts. They don't remember all the email, and so they wouldn't use it. So it was really cool because we came up with something that's that solves a pain point, but they wouldn't use it, because they wouldn't admit that they didn't remember passwords. And I don't care if they're CEO of the largest company in the world, which one of them is, down to a person that's a janitor in a building. People just don't remember. So we had to pivot again. And we pivoted with Yva, the task assistant. Well, it's great. Great idea. Picks out information in your email, populates your calendar. But the challenge is Google's doing things like that.
Yeah.
So we understood, well, you can't go head to head, and customers aren't willing to pay for it because they're used to getting things for free from Google.
Yeah, right.
So we said, what's next? And that's where we came up with Yva for HR. So 3 pivots, moving in the right direction, and now we're on track to be $1 billion company.
So, talking about you as an investor, are you looking for HR tech now?
I'm looking for the coolest AI in the world, the best AI in the world, the brightest teams in the world, and people that are open-minded about going global. No games, no jokes, right? People that really want to change the world and put a dent in the universe. Because those are the kind of people that give you very positive energy and that want to hang around, that make you feel good.
So now it's time to wish something to those people who are just starting their own businesses.
Absolutely. So I want to tell you a little story about how I see it. So I remember I was taking martial arts classes, and I had this grandmaster in karate, taekwondo, and he put a board in front of me, and he said to me, "You see this board, can you break it?" And I said, "I will try." So I hit the board, and he took a piece of cinder block, like this, 2 inches thick, and he put it in front of me, and he said, "You need to break this," and he held it up like that. It was for my black belt test, and I was really afraid. Well, doing a startup is like that, because sometimes you got to think about being on the other side. And he said to me, "Gary, visualize yourself being on the other side." And I hit it, and I broke it and went through. And I understand that doing a startup is a lot like that, because you need to think about what the end goal is, not where I am today. And a startup, to do it, think differently, believe in your dreams, and listen to your soul, listen to yourself inside, because that's really going to guide you to be successful.
Yeah. And build business in AI.
Yes.
It's my coffee.